Mitsubishi.
A teenager has been arrested following a series of recent break-ins. It's alleged the 16-year-old was involved in a smash and grab at a shop on Prospect Road at Blair Athol and another on Port Road at Hindmarsh yesterday, as well as a cafe break-in at Kilburn on Wednesday. The boy from Salisbury North has been charged and bailed to front court in October. Australia will command an international maritime task force aimed at protecting commercial shipping vessels in the Red Sea, but the federal government is defending its decision not to send a warship to the region. Labor argues the focus must be closer to home. Defence Minister Richard Marles says our personnel will still make a difference.
We are very proud of the fact that an Australian will be taking command of the Combined Task Force 153. This is a very significant step, and an Australian will now be in charge of CTF 153 in securing shipping through the Red Sea.
A review of Australia's approach to domestic violence is calling for a surge of activity to tackle what's being dubbed a national emergency. Zach De Silva reports from Canberra.
In May this year, after a string of women were killed by current or former partners, National Cabinet commissioned a rapid review. A panel of 6 experts were tasked with looking at ways to prevent domestic, family and sexual violence. They've now handed down their final report, making 21 recommendations. Those include more support for children who face violence at home, as well as Indigenous women and families. The panel are also calling for a major funding boost for support services and greater engagement with men and boys to stop violence before it starts.
The Australian Red Cross has reached a new 3-year deal with Qantas to help the charity respond to emergencies nationwide. The partnership will give personnel access to travel around the country for humanitarian work, and money has been promised to train hundreds of additional volunteers. The Red Cross's Deputy Chief Executive, Penny Harrison, says it's an important agreement.
This really will enhance our ability to build out our extraordinary volunteer base, to be there in times to respond to communities in emergencies, and at other times they might be experiencing vulnerability.
Kamala Harris accepted her party's presidential nomination and addressed the Democratic National Convention on the final night in Chicago. She's looking to create a more inclusive country as Commander-in-Chief.
Our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward.
And Fooni is celebrating a birthday today at the Adelaide Zoo. The giant panda is turning 18. There'll be celebrations over the weekend as part of the Teddy Bears picnic. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Take sporting entertainment to the next level at Sporties in the Aqaba Hotel, Adelaide's home of live sport.
Adelaide's Josh Rochelle says his future is with the Crows despite being sensationally dropped for the last game of the season against Sydney. He'll line up for the Sandford side instead. The 21-year-old raised eyebrows after liking a comment from a fan suggesting he should seek a trade, but he says that was an honest mistake. Port head west this weekend to play Freo on Sunday. Ken Hinkley says they're focused 100% on the game. And the start time for 2 of tomorrow's AFL games has had to be changed. The clash between Hawthorn and North Melbourne has been moved forward due to industrial action in Launceston, which could impact power outages. The Richmond Gold Coast clash at the MCG will now start later. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
Afternoon at Mount Osmond, a breakdown on the freeway up track near the Mount Osmond ramp. Slow for works at Parkside, Glen Osmond Road near John Street. Getting busy at Prospect at the moment, Main North Road near Wilson Street. And we're down to 40 k's at the moment at Paynham for works Portrush Road near Rosella Streets. Cameras Bradley Grove Mitchell Park and Grant Scully Road at Clarendon. Try the Optus mobile network free for 7 days with no commitments. Join the Optus network trial with an eSIM via the My Optus app. Visit optus.com.au/trial. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A shower or two this afternoon, sunny tomorrow, 23. Sunday, a shower or two becoming windy, 21, and 18 on Monday. Right now, it's 24 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, axed young Crow star Josh Rochelle speaks out. The arthritis drug having incredible results on common skin conditions. How the Powerball's $100 million winner nearly lost her ticket. Plus the staggering number of older Australians considering working beyond their retirement years. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little fuck!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Yes, welcome at 6 after 4 on this Footy Friday, thanks to Rusden Wines in the Barossa Valley, home of the Blackgut Shiraz, rusdenwines.com.au as we count down to the final weekend, can you believe it, of the home and away season as I welcome Timmy G and Campo.
Yeah, that went quick. I'll tell you what, but there's a final series to follow afterwards, and there'll still be plenty of interest in that.
So there's some games on this week, is there?
There's games this weekend. I know it's been a bit confusing in the last couple of days, but thank you, Campo. It's good to see you again, mate. Thanks for coming in. It is Friday night. It's your night to make it a Rusden Black Guts night. 8223 0000. You just got to call in, and you could be a chance of winning that magnificent drop. So, good people at Rusden's, as they say. If you see me on the Foodland live stream, and I appear to be squinting a lot and looking like I'm trying to work something out, well, I am, because I left my glasses on.
Oh,
so,
Timmy.
Big mistake. So that's a rookie mistake. What wasn't a mistake? Port Adelaide had a crack at the appeal last night, and Dan Houston got his 5 games upheld. So he is officially out, but here is Dan shortly afterwards.
Tonight we came here thinking we had good grounds for an appeal, and obviously it didn't go our way, and very disappointed, and looking forward to getting around my teammates for the rest of the year.
To be expected, Campo, did you feel like it? Most people have gone and had a crack, and not too many have won, have they?
Well, they don't, and I think, in this instance, once again, the AFL probably want to stand their ground around a precedence for possibly next year. Hopefully nothing happens over the finals period, but we always find that someone does something silly or untoward. But look, I think it was probably worthwhile having a go at the dartboard and see whether you could probably get it down. I'm not sure you would have got down to 3, but if you had got to 4... with maybe the opportunity if they play in a grand final, which I think, ultimately as a club you'd do that for your player.
I think one of the difficulties now for Port Adelaide is just how do you cover Dan Houston, who could potentially be up for another All-Australian? Well, the coach, Ken Hinkley, he sort of tried to explain it.
If you're just going like for like, Dan Houston's probably going to be a 2-time All-Australian by the end of the year, so it's going to be hard to replace that. But I always say you don't lose the whole player, you do get to replace them, and we've got, Ryan Byrne's a very good player, Josh Sinn's a very good player. They come in and play. They might not quite be Dan Houston just yet, but we're hoping that they can take a big slice of that.
Yeah, being a coach, when you have a unique player, and I think Sam Powell-Pepper was in this position as well. Like you can never quite replace a Sam Powell-Pepper, and I think it's the same with Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when he's an All-Australian. They don't grow on trees, do they? No. In terms of what he does, and I've done some numbers with Channel 7 around how important he is. He's in the top 2 or 3 in the competition for inside 50s, rebound 50s. That's a great combination to have, to be able to come out of your back half and, I guess, penetrate the opposition's middle of the ground and then get it going forward. And we know that midfield group relies on that. But also what he does is when Port Adelaide win the ball in the front half, he's there to turn it over and then kick it back inside 50 as well. So that's a great combination and very difficult. I mean, a midfielder, you can sort of, something like, bring in, if he's a contested ball player, you can bring in another one. But he brings a lot of run and carry, and that ball use is going to be important, particularly heading into September.
That's for sure. Well, Ken was also asked about selection, because there was a little rumour I heard yesterday that they might try and rest one of the big guys, like a Dixon or a Radigalia or something like that. So there was a bit of rumours, and of course it's the trip to Perth and back. I would have thought you've got a week off next week.
Yeah.
Let's see what Ken thinks.
We'll prepare like we have every other week for this game to be to make sure we bring our best and play our best available people to hopefully stay in really good form. And that's all we're going to focus on. We've done really well, and I've been really strong on that with the whole group and for everyone, that we stay in the moment. The moment is we've got to play Fremantle, a really good team on their home deck on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, so that sounds like to me they're not resting anybody. They're just going in with a team, and it's a vital win. You wouldn't want to be going over there and saying, oh, look, we rested a couple of players and we ended up losing a home final. No, they won't be too happy with that. So I think they're going full ball.
Well, the old saying, never flirt with your form, Tim, and ultimately you go over there, you go a little bit half-hearted, or there's always something that happens in those situations. So they've still got plenty to play for. So they need a full-strength side ready to go to make sure they can cement a top 2 position.
Yeah, and with Mitch Georgiades back in, I must admit that forward line always looks a bit better, a lot more polished. So look forward to that game. On the other side of the wicket, this morning I spoke on breakfast, and we had that caller late last night, Sean, ringing up and saying Mark Keane has walked out of the club and this is happening. Now, I think they've put a lid on that one as well, said no, it is definitely a family reason why he's going home. So want to put that one to bed.
Believe his mum's not well.
Yeah, so that makes a lot more sense than walking out because of a review, which would happen each and every week, I would imagine.
Bit of a long boat.
Sean will keep an eye on that one. But he was at the airport this morning at 8:30 and took the presser, and he spoke about, Josh Rochelle not being in the team, and he said it's about values.
It's about values, about the standards that we are looking to uphold consistently. Central to that's being team first, and so Josh and I have had a number of conversations. It's not isolated to recent events. This is something we've been working on for a long period of time now. Not just Josh and I, but the team, the entire squad, about what it is we stand for, and that's why the decision is where it is.
What do you make of that statement?
Well, I guess we got some clarity. It wasn't form related. Would that be we take that out of that?
That's 100%.
Because he didn't say anything about
I think
his
we removed form.
So that's what we spoke about last night. It has to be behavioural or values versus on-ground performance, and I think we can safely say it's not performance-based. So, and that's an interesting one because, and he was pretty clear there. So, and it's been going on for a while. So the question still begs, why now?
Why now? Let's have a listen to the answer on that one.
There's never a good time with these sort of decisions. And it's an interesting one. It's not really a decision in the end. When you're dealing with values, there's no decision to be made. If we want to be serious about those values, then we've got to live up to those. So we've got to go down the path we need to go down and make sure that we're true to those. Otherwise, they're just words.
Again, we spoke about it last night. You just feel like several times he said we've had this conversation. I think personally, I say. First time?
Yep.
Okay, I need to educate you. So there's your first go. You do it again, I'm saying, well, you're not learning. I think you might have a rest day until you actually listen to instructions and follow those values.
So it sounds like he's had a few misdemeanors along the way.
Probably had a few chances.
Oh, well, you would imagine so by that statement. But look, having said, and I'll sit on the other side now in Nixie's position as a coach, what he said is actually right to a certain extent. And I used to get a bit of a bugbear with this. You know how many times I've sat in, team building and we put words up on a wall, but no one wants to live the behaviours. That's the most frustrating thing when you do these, whether it's in business, and I've had businesses, or whether you're in a sporting environment, and you've been in those as well, Tuggers and Timmy. There's nothing more frustrating when you're trying to create an environment of elite performance and they're just words on the wall, and no one's prepared to drive it, no one's prepared to call it out. So they've obviously been calling it out, but ultimately, at the end of the day, they've had enough, is the way that I read it. Would that be fair?
And it being the last minor round game.
Yeah.
I still...
That's the one, that's the bit that
gets me.
Yeah. So I guess, on the flip side, does it make him hungrier now over the summer to make sure he comes back and he changes his behaviours? Me personally, if it's been going on for a long period of time, maybe was there the opportunity 4 or 5 weeks ago to do it? He has a couple of weeks in the sample, see a change of behaviour in some of those things, bring him back in for the second half,
because
to go from there.
If it's happened 3 or 4 times, you would think the rest of the group are going, well, is this behaviour being enabled?
Yeah.
Because it'd be frustrating for the rest of the group, especially for players who are on the cusp of trying to get a game.
Yep.
So
and that is the frustrating thing too, Tim, and you've coached. When there is players living and breathing, and there's guys that are still getting games, that's where there's frustration in the ranks, and that's, you talk about environment and culture, that's when it breaks down. Absolutely.
Josh Rochelle himself was at training today for the Sandful side. They're playing Sturt at Unley or Thomas Farms Food Oval there. But he spoke to the media at training today.
Absolutely love the club. I love my teammates. And yeah, my future here is to beat the Adelaide Crows. One of our main values as a club is prioritising others, and it was something that I didn't do last week and over a couple of things too. But yeah, I understand fully, and I'm just going to go out this tomorrow actually and put my best foot forward.
Prioritising others.
Interesting. I've heard it 3 times this week in terms of from Crows people from within. So it's clearly one up on the wall, and he's clearly been given some feedback. The interesting thing, because we've got to go to a break, I think, Tuggers, but he said last week, Nixie said over in multiple weeks. Is that just a slip of the tongue, or is that a bit of mixed messaging?
Okay. Let's go to the phones. Give us a call, 8223 0000. Do you agree with Matthew Nix? Do you agree with the dropping? Or do you say, no, shouldn't have happened?
Certainly. We love your calls for our Rusden Blackgut Shiraz we're giving away tonight, so get on the line. The lines are available, 8223 0000. And just before we get to the break, the AFL have just advised of a rescheduled start time for a fixture this weekend. You wouldn't believe 24 hours out, we have the time of a couple of games changed. So tomorrow, Hawthorn and North Melbourne were meant to start at 4 o'clock in Tassie. That's been moved to a midday start, Adelaide time, purely because the lights... the people that operate them have gone on strike in Tasmania, so they are going to foolproof the entire thing and play a day game rather than a twilight game.
Is this going to happen in 2028?
So Hawthorn, North Melbourne will move to midday, and Richmond and the Suns rather at the MCG is going to be moved forward a couple of hours to 2:50 to avoid any overlap. So for fans of the Hawks, the Roos, the Richmond and the Suns, just bear in mind there are some time changes for those games tomorrow.
Devils can only play during the day. They sleep at night.
On tonight's show, Warren Treadray is going to join us in studio. We have Crows assistant Nathan Van Berlo. There'll be a lot to go through there. Port Adelaide's development coach Jason Williams, and we'll have the team at 4:30 for the power. Sturt coach Marty Matner, Terry McAuliffe to join us. A bottle of Rusden Blackguts to give away, of course, to our favourite caller of the night, and more Royal Adelaide Show tickets to give away. Get on the phone, 8223 0000.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. Join Rowie and Timmy G in the studio every afternoon with 5AA's live video stream of the Sports Show. Thanks to Foodland. Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
Whether you're moving house, moving materials or moving people, calling Budget Car and Truck Rental is always your best move. Our huge range of vehicles make any move smooth, with trucks, vans, cars, utes, hybrids, 12 to 25-seater buses and more. Find your nearest Budget in the Adelaide CBD, Salisbury, Clemzig, Wingfield, Mailstone, Morphett Vale or the airport. Budget Car and Truck Rental. Get to the good stuff. Call 13 27 27 or visit budget.com.au.
Visit Jarvis Toyota's brand new undercover home in Brighton Road, Somerton Park, and take advantage of savings across the Toyota certified pre-owned range. Enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota at Jarvis, with all certified pre-owned vehicles tested and backed by Toyota, including a full service history and 90-point safety check. Toyota certified pre-owned, in a class of its own. Your Toyota journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park, proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals.
Mario Mayola Promotions and 5AA present Hooked on Swing, starring vocal sensation Kate Black, the Three Little Sisters, and crooner Chris Lloyds, together with the Boogie Woogie Big Band and Swing Dancers. Come hear the music of Benny Goodman, Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday, the Andrews Sisters, Glenn Miller, Nina Simone and more. Hooked on Swing, Festival Theatre, Wednesday, October 2nd. Book now at Ticketek.
Introducing the all-new Volvo electric excavator. It's quiet and has no emissions or exhaust, so it's perfect for confined spaces. The battery has 48 volts and it's got zero tail swing radius, whatever that means. 2.7 tonnes of brilliant bright yellow, but it's green environmentally, but it's yellow, quite literally. Inquire today through Warren Mining for all your electric excavation needs, but also all your construction equipment needs, because Warren Mining do it all.
Whether you're coming into the city for footy, friends or family, or you're headed out into SA, you can let Stateliner do the driving for you. They have a fleet of modern, comfortable buses that connects Adelaide to the Eyre Peninsula, the Mid-North, Riverland and South East, with many towns in between. Stateliner buses are equipped with toilets, air conditioning, they're wheelchair accessible, and you can even charge your phone. With 50% off for pensioners, seniors, children and SA full-time students, let Stateliner do the driving for you. Book today.
Experience an iconic night of greyhound racing at the 2024 Nationals this Saturday at Angle Park with the best chasers from Australia and New Zealand contesting 2 Group 1 national finals. Make a night of it at Chasers Restaurant with a dinner and drinks package, or get trackside for live music, food bands, bars and free kids entertainment. General admission is a gold coin donation. Gates opening 5:30pm. Visit greyhoundracingsa.com.au. Don't let the game play you. Stay in control, gamble responsibly.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
So Mark's headed home. He took off Thursday, and he's gone back for personal reasons, which we won't go into the detail of that, but we have our full support for Mark and his family, and he's gone back to be with his family.
Speculations from this morning that he's walked out on the club. Can you guarantee that's not the case?
I can guarantee that's not the case.
22 minutes after 4 on our Footy Friday. That's Matthew Nix there speaking this morning at the airport on Mark Keane, who's been removed from the side this weekend as he's travelled home to Ireland for family reasons. Our best caller gets a bottle of Rusden Blackgut Shiraz tonight, so give us a call, 8223 0000. We'll get to them in a second. But first, here's your traffic. For top brand, tailor-fitted men's suits and casual wear, see Ignition for Men. They're at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Afternoon, breakdown to look out for today. She's on the freeway up track near the main Osmond ramp. Slow for works at Goodwood Road near Railway Terrace. Getting busy at the moment at Prospect, Main North Road near Wilson Street, and slow south road at Karata Park for the drive home. Cameras at Bradley Grove Mitchell Park and Adams Road at Craigmore. Dan Murphy's don't match prices, they beat them. Roku Japanese Craft Gin 700ml, $56 for My Dan's members, ends Sunday. Choose to drink wise, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Let's go to the callers, 8223 0000. Johnny at Paraka. G'day, John.
G'day, gentlemen. Look, I rate both of you two gentlemen highly, and I am a Crow supporter, but firstly, I just want to wish Port Adelaide all the best this week as the sole representative from SA in this year's final series. As far as Josh Rochelle goes, I mean, if I'm being 100% truthful, he's really not that good. He is overrated. I love the kid, and we need characters in the game, right? But if we're talking about, good trash talkers, Ackermanis would have done what he did, then come out and kick 5. He come out, kicked 1, didn't play that well. And, I mean, on top of that, I'm not supporting the coach either. At the end of the day, he's the worst coach in the competition, and hopefully he goes soon. But I think Josh needs to use this, have a good hard look at himself, and maybe if he had Isaac Rankin's game, then he could work his mouth a bit more.
Yeah, John, I think I was talking about it with the Brekkie boys this morning. I think Lee Matthews handled Ackermanis pretty well. Mostly he would go and do those handstands after they'd won, and, a bit of bizarre behaviour. He could shoot his mouth off and the like. They had such a good team unit that I think Lee managed him and that group really well around. This is a different egg.
Do you reckon, knowing Lee Matthews, do you reckon Jason knew where the boundaries were?
Oh, I reckon he did.
Yeah.
And if he didn't, he found it quickly. So, and this is the thing. I spoke this morning. I think Josh Rochelle could become an even better player out of this.
Absolutely.
These are the experiences in life that just sometimes a little tipping point for you.
He's
and you
21.
can go this way or that way. And I reckon it's a good one. So let's have a look. Let's go to Walkerville and speak with Chris. G'day, Chris.
G'day, boys. Look, I don't really want to focus on Rochelle. I want to focus on what Nick said. He said this morning about values and standards. And, they're important, but where is the footy club at the moment? We're bottom 4. We've mismanaged Curtin. We've gifted games to blokes that shouldn't be in the side. And Will, I don't know whether you heard this morning, Will just summed it up perfectly. He said the sum of all the parts, referring to the values and standards, is finishing 15th and being a crap footy team. Now, I just want to win games of footy. I've followed this club for a long, long, long time. And Campo, question for you. You quite often you go on, and you're right, about midfield and how we don't get enough ball inside 50, and that's where it's dropped off.
Yep.
The question I've got, is where's the improvement going to come next year? Because you would think our starting midfield next year is going to be Laird, Crouch, Dawson, which is essentially the same as what it's been this year. Maybe Berry, maybe Schonberg. All these guys have had plenty of goes. Yes, we've got some young talent coming through like Dowling and that, but they're years away from dominating midfield. So where's the improvement going to come?
Yeah, it's a good call, Chris. And yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a philosophy of mine, and it's not everyone's, but I truly believe when I coach, best midfield wins. And you can watch any game of footy over the weekend, and you have a look at which team wins, and ultimately that team, there's very few occasions that happen. I don't necessarily disagree with you about where the improvement's going to come from. I think they go back to the draft. They got a really early pick this year, pick 4. It's a quality draft in terms of midfield, so it'll be interesting whether they go some homegrown talent, which Sid Draper's probably around the mark from there, or they go, maybe a Vic Country. So we spoke to Ollie Wines the other day around the transition of, not necessarily being in the big smoke of Melbourne, but come to Adelaide, and it's less of a.
That's why a lot of players like Geelong.
Correct. So, I mean, there's Finn O'Sullivan. He's a gun in my eyes. I've watched him the last 3 years. Very talented player. There's that point. But I think on the flip side, we could say safely that Jake Saligo's gone to another level in the last 18 months. I think the addition of getting Matt Crouch back is really important. I mean, I'm a Matt Crouch fan, unashamedly, because I think he's really important to that group and way he goes about it.
His first half in the showdown.
Well, and even when he's come back, the bloke's come off a shoulder injury and he's arguably their best player. So there's that. I think Curtin, he'll get better over another pre-season. I think he's carrying something. I've watched him closely the last couple of weeks from him when he's had an opportunity through the midfield, and he's probably not sharp enough at the moment, but I think he's got the credentials and the skill to play through there. So I still think, and I think Schonberg is one that they do need to inject in there, because he's got the speed and power that you're probably looking for to break and come out of the front of that stoppage. So I still think there's some upside there. And then they've included Dowling this year. They've had a look at Zach Taylor. So I think they've exposed a few guys, and sometimes you need to do that for them to progress over a pre-season again, to then be confident to be at the next level again.
All right, let's go to Jeff at Parafield Gardens. G'day, Jeff.
Yeah, you go, fellas. How you going? I was just disappointed, not in Michelle in that, but in the coach for not standing up for him. Because good, bad or ugly, you stand up for your players, and he just threw him out with a... You don't do that. You want your team to be hard and rough, and you chastise a bloke because he made a verbal mistake, or he might not be the... I don't know what they're looking for, but no matter what, as a coach, you don't bag your players. No matter what they did, there's millions of rat bags in the AFL, and the coaches, I've never heard one get bagged before. And it just shows you what he's got the problem, not the players.
Yeah, Jeff, I reckon once upon a time, you got dropped, you found out in the paper, and coach didn't have to answer to it, and neither did the club. So it's definitely a changed world now. We understand that. But he just to be clear, Jeff, it's been put out there that he didn't get dropped because of his comments last week. So it's been over.
In fact, they highlighted we love his energy, we love the way
longer period of time, and it's about values that they believe he hasn't met, that they want to stand for.
Well, and you could quickly argue, you could quickly say that they have backed him in because they haven't dropped him earlier. So you could go the other way on the flip side and go, well, push comes to shove, they've made a decision.
Well, there's an interesting, unique homestyle food text from Philip, which says, do values and standards include going up to the opposing team's coach and saying that was a effing dog act at the showdown? Ooh, Philip. So he's saying that maybe Nix wasn't living up to the values.
That was the lip-reading job of Footy Classified on Tuesday night, I think it was.
Right.
That's what they reported, at least, that Nixie and Ken exchanged at the end of the showdown.
So his call too?
We need a new set of values.
4:30 headlines coming up. Port's team announcement and development coach Jason Williams on the other side.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
A week ago, we had the good news that the Code Yellow, the directive from SA Health to cancel non-urgent elective surgeries, had been lifted. Yet last night, this curious little note came out. Doctors had been ordered to cancel some non-urgent elective surgery, effective immediately.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
So it's a de facto ban on elective surgery.
Oh, it feels like it's a Code Yellow by another name.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested following a series of break-ins this week. The federal government is promising to closely consider the recommendations of a report into domestic violence prevention measures. Kamala Harris has accepted her party's presidential nomination and addressed the DNC. And in sport, Crows coach Matthew Nicks maintains he has Josh Rochelli's back, despite the controversial decision to drop the young forward after the showdown. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
G'day there at Mount Osmond. A breakdown on the freeway up track near the Mount Osmond ramp. Slow for works at Clarence Park, Cross Road near Eaton Street. Getting busier to Clearview, Hampstead Road near Airedale Avenue. And slow going at the moment at Wingfield, the Salisbury Highway to the Wingfield ramp. Cameras Blacktop Road, Gould Creek and Bradley Grove at Mitchell Park. Dash into BWS for 3 days of deals like a case of Cooper's Pale Ale cans or bottles on Appy deals for $57. Ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a possible shower tonight down to 12, sunny tomorrow 23. Right now it's 24 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
Get cashback rebates on energy-saving appliances with Mac Trade Services. Receive up to $600 on eligible fridges, freezers or dryers, thanks to the South Australian Government REPS rebate. Simply buy an eligible appliance and complete the rebate claim form on our website. Visit mactradeservices.com.au or your local Harvey Norman store today.
CMAX Clinical Research are calling all healthy adults aged 40 to 60. An exciting opportunity to contribute to medical research and trial a potential vaccine for Alzheimer's disease in Adelaide. Spend one night at CMAX and attend 7 follow-up visits to help pave the future of modern medicine. All eligible participants are paid for their time. If you're in good general health and not taking any medications other than contraception, you may be eligible. Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Weber Weekend is 2 days packed with barbecue brilliance right in time for the new Barbie season. God, I'm excited. Weber Weekend is on this weekend from 10 to 3 at Weber Stores Mount Barker, Mile End, Jeps Cross and the Weber Grill Academy in Rose Park.
Yeah, get the kids involved too, Tim, or up your Barbie game with a special Barbie and Butcher Masterclass. There's loads of competitions and prizes, free food samples and special deals exclusive to Weber Weekend.
Yeah, it's all free, so look, learn, taste and have fun most of all. Most importantly, get ready for the kickoff of a tasty summer barbecuing ahead.
Yep, and you can find out more at weber.com and search for Weber Weekend.
It's showtime at Wayville Hyundai. The best time to get your car serviced with free parking, complimentary $25 food and drink coupon, and a free car wash and vacuum. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground.
Need help navigating the NDIS? Anglicare SA is here for you. As a trusted NDIS provider, we offer tailored support to help you live independently. From supported living arrangements to one-on-one assistance and therapy services, we cover every aspect of your needs. Whether it's finding the right accommodation, learning new skills, or accessing treatments, Anglicare SA is your guide through the NDIS. Empower your life with Anglicare SA. Visit our website or call us today. Anglicare SA, your partner in living the life you choose.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
25 minutes to 5. Warren Treadray will join us in studio for our Footy Friday after 5 o'clock. Still have those show tickets to give away and a Rusden Blackguards for our best caller, so get involved. 8223 0000. So the team announcement for Port Adelaide has just been made. 2 changes officially for their game on Sunday against the Dockers. Mitch Georgiades officially into the side, Timmy, and Jed McEntee is in as well. Going out, of course, Houston with that suspension, and Quinton Narkle. Quick thoughts?
Yeah, Narkle, I think, because he's been sub 3 weeks, I reckon, so that you need a run, don't you? So that's probably the back of that decision. But, as far as a sub goes, you need probably somebody that can play a few more positions.
Yeah, so your interchange at the moment is Boak, Mead, Burton, McEntee and Francis Evans.
Well, you'd think it'd be McEntee, wouldn't you?
Out of that.
I mean, Frankie Evans has
Which
been
does
pretty
leave
good.
you a little vulnerable, I would think, because he's a small pressure forward and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, unless they sort of shuffle, either Boak or one of them, and who else could play wing out of that forward half?
I don't think you muck around with Boakie's form at the minute. So.
No, well, Boak or Jace Burgoyne, you might be able to sort of shuffle one of those.
Well, they'll name the sub 1 hour out from this big game on Sunday, Timmy.
Well, Sunday, the last game of what's going to be a very exciting round, Port Adelaide v FIVEAA. Probably could be a couple of things hanging on it. We're going to find out exactly how we're going to go about it from one of the development coaches at Port Adelaide, Jason Williams. Welcome, Jace.
G'day, lads. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, first of all, you've had a bit of a footy journey from WA, went to Victoria, now in South Australia. Where did you grow up and how did footy get into your life?
I grew up in a small country town called Wagen, which is out in WA.
That is Stephen Rowe's hometown, who I normally work with. Yeah, how's that? Unreal.
No, brilliant. Yeah, so you'd probably be well versed in it. There. It's a small town, not much to do out there, and footy was kind of all myself and my family had done, and then it's kind of been a part of my life ever since then. Really, as you can imagine, being a young bloke growing up, trying to play it to the best of my ability, and then when I was 25 in Melbourne playing in the VFL, I did my ACL.
Oh.
And then I guess from that moment, I was kind of just on a journey of like trying to figure out how I can continue to give back to footy without playing in it, which led me to coaching. And I'll probably love coaching, and I'm more passionate about coaching than I was playing. So it's just been a really good fit for me, and it's taken me, on another amazing journey to where I am now in South Australia and working for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, looking after our NGA, the Next Generation Academy, and a lot with the younger Indigenous lads that we've got, also the young forwards at our club. First of all, how's the NGA? How's it looking talent-wise? Is young Rome Burgoyne in there as well?
Yeah, so Rome's been part of the NGA, part of our Father-Son Academy, which I also look after.
Yep.
And that's been really great. So, day to day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night working with the AFL, and then you get those NGA young people come through the footy club, and just to see their enthusiasm and energy for the game, and just to see part of the journey that they're on and be able to relate to some of it's been, a really grounding experience while you're, in a real professional environment. To still get that, it's been a real pleasure for me this year.
And the young forwards development, I mean, obviously you've got some standouts with Georgiades and I guess Charlie's coming more to the end of his career, and Todd as well. Tom Scully, those guys coming through?
Yeah, definitely. So I've had a really, really interesting year getting to work with Mitch early on while he was rehabbing his ACL and just getting some games under his feet. Just to see the amount of work that he puts into his craft was amazing. And then, Ollie Lord, another one that's had a great pre-season and unfortunately had a leg fracture pretty early on, missed about 10 weeks, and then just to be able to work with him in building his confidence back up in his craft and trying to play some good and consistent football. Got a taste of AFL this year, and now he's back in the Magpies program. So that's been really great. And then, as you mentioned, Tom Scully's been really, really interesting to work with. He's a young developing forward. It's his second year in the AFL. He's going to hopefully get a few more pre-seasons under his belt, and then hopefully you see a really, really talented young forward. Over 200 centimetres. He's got great agility. And the stronger he gets, the more of a force he's going to be forward of the ball.
And I guess you're on your coaching journey. Do you aspirational to move up into a line role if that opportunity arises?
Yeah, like I think I've said this before. I love footy more than anything I've ever done in my life. It's been the one thing that I've consistently loved throughout my whole journey. So I'm committed to working away at my coaching craft and doing any role that may present itself into the future, whether that be coaching or anything else in footy. I just know that I'm going to be in football for as long as I can.
Hey, mate, we're going to have to bring the heat early. They could be fighting for the 8. We're fighting for a home final. It's going to be on, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be, if you think about our two midfields, it's probably two of the better young midfields in the comp. They got some really, really good players in there. We've got some really, really good players in there. And we're both fighting for something, as you said. We want home finals, obviously, and they want to play finals. So it's going to be a great test, and coming into what's going to be a really tough final series after a really tough season. I don't think it's ever been this close. It's probably the perfect way for us to get ready for that next part of our journey.
It's going to be great prep, I reckon. Now, Mitch Georgiades' return, trained well, no risk factor whatsoever there?
No, the quad was it was obviously injured, but he started running last week and looked really good last week. So then had a full training week this week, and the 8-day break we get to train twice. We have an 8-day turnaround, or 7 or 8 day turnaround. So again, that's probably the perfect preparation for him to tick all those boxes and feel really, really comfortable. And the same for us as a footy club and a medical team. So I watch him train fully for a week and really just reaffirm that he's ready to go.
And Jason, you are a part of the academy, and I guess no better mentor or a player that's gone through. You've probably got a couple, one in Trav Boak, but the other one, Ollie Wines, playing 250 this week. Did they get involved in much of your program?
In terms of the academy stuff, not quite, but Trav, when he played his 350th game, you get to hear all these wonderful stories from not only players at our club, but players from around the country that Trav's been really a part of their careers and influential in their careers. He's got time for everyone. So while Trav hasn't directly been involved in the NGA or the Father-Son Academy program, every time those boys have been in at the club, he's had a moment for them and been more than accommodating with his time. But then, not only that, for myself as well, he's a really, really great person to talk to about some of that stuff. If I'm thinking about presenting something to these young guys, just running it past him, he's been fantastic with that. And then Ollie Wines he loves the footy club. He's got time for everyone, and it's very similar when the father-son boys first came in. He's one of the first people I introduced them all to. So, again, not that he's directly been involved in it, but every chance that he's been around them, he's been really, really accommodating with his time.
Well, mate, all the best in the West, mate, and also giving our listeners a bit of an insight into your journey and also being a young development coach and looking after our young fellas.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. No worries at all. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Brilliant stuff. Jason Williams, Port Adelaide's development coach, looking after the NGA and the young forwards.
Like passionate, and you need that in footy club. Really passionate young coaches on the way
Loves
up.
the game. You beauty. Jason Williams, our guest.
Massive game on Sunday, indeed. Do you want to head to the Royal Adelaide Show? I know lots of our listeners do. So if you want to get along, 82230055, we have a double pass to give away. All you have to do is take on another listener in a quiz that Timmy G will play straight after we check your traffic. All thanks to Ignition for Men. For top brand, tailor-fitted men's suits and casual wear, see Ignition for Men at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
At Mount Osmond, a breakdown to look out for. Freeway up track near the Mount Osmond ramp. Slow for works at Glenside, Greenhill Road near Portrush Road. Bit of activity at Prospect, Main North Road near Wilson Street, and slow going at Wingfield, Grand Junction Road near Dunstan Road. Cameras today, Blacktop Road, Gould Creek, and Bradley Grove at Mitchell Park. Get the springtime feels at Freedom with up to 25% off selected sofas and furniture and up to 30% off selected bedroom furniture. Sale on now only at Freedom. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
As news breaks across the morning, Jade Robrin will be reporting live from the streets of Adelaide for 5AA Breakfast. If it's happening in our city, Jade will be there giving us all the details. Don't miss Jade Robrin on the road thanks to Dutton's. Family owned for 75 years. Easy to do business with.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we've launched out of the starting blocks and we're flying down the track with our huge Rego S22 3CYX.
I bet your dad loves his nuts. And the very best nuts are South Australia's own Charlesworth nuts. G'day folks, I'm Brett Charlesworth and we have over 50 stunning gift hampers, baskets and bags to choose from this Father's Day. They're all brimming with Charlesworth's mouth-watering nuts and chocolates. All you have to do is pick the one your dad will love the most and then watch his eyes light up. You can't go wrong. Shop online now or at one of our 12 family-owned stores. Why Charlesworth this Father's Day? Because fresh nuts taste better.
At McGain Real Estate, they want to help you with the most important asset in your life. That's your kids.
Yeah, and we all know it's tough out there, Timmy, right now with the highest rates we've experienced in the last few years, and house prices still booming.
That's right. So it's a horrible combo, that, isn't it, when that's going along? So it's also the perfect time to build a plan for your kids' future, because the increased equity in your home could get your kids into theirs.
Yeah, imagine being able to help your kids get into their first home. So why not talk to the friendly and knowledgeable team at McGain right now? They have the way to make that happen.
More bang for your bucket has hit KFC. It's more food, more taste, and more value every day. Feed a family of 4 tonight with KFC's $24.95 boneless dinner. Get more bang for your bucket every day at KFC.
Bang, 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 bang. Not available on delivery.
Today I'm talking to Tracy, who's one of Arbor Vitae's many happy customers. Hi.
Hello, Lee.
When did you start taking Arbor Vitae and what for?
I'm a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years, which is a common issue for my fellow bakers. A friend suggested I tried Arbor Vitae and I can't believe how well it's worked for me.
What benefits have you noticed from Arbor Vitae?
It's like a magic potion. I'm able to work with no pain. No stretch of the truth. It's worked so well for me.
Are you happy to recommend Arbor Vitae? And what would you tell our listeners about this product?
Absolutely. And I'd say to them that I felt my pain reside after the second bottle. So if you do try it and don't feel any changes from the first bottle, stick with it. It's also got a great berry-like flavour, which makes it easy to consume.
It's wonderful to hear how much of a positive impact it has had on your life. Thank you for your time, Tracy. Remember, for more information, visit arborvitae.com.au, arborvitae.com.au, stocked in chemists and health food stores. And remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
13 minutes to 5. Nathan Van Berlo from the Crows is only a moment away, so stay tuned for that. Treader's coming up after 5. And for your racing tips tonight, Terry McAuliffe's a late out, so Johnny Kelton from Racing.com is going to join us this evening, and we have a bottle of Blackgut still to give away. 8223 0000 if you want to win that. But right now, Timmy, let's give away some show tickets.
Yeah, I got some more goss on that Terry McAuliffe one.
Oh.
Yeah, he was dropped. I'll be telling Johnny Kelton that anyway. Look, Royal Show tickets are on the line. We've got Anthony from Campbelltown and Rob from Heathfield. G'day, guys. Ready to battle this out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anthony. Yep. You're first, Anthony. So you get the question and you get a range. Here we go. Zach Butters had the most bounces of any Port player this season. How many times has he bounced the ball this season? Now it's between 50 and 70, Anthony. What number would you give me?
61.
Okay, 61. Thank you, Anthony. Rob, it is between 50 and 61.
55.
Okay, Anthony. It is between 55 and 61.
60.
Rob, it's between 55 and 60.
59.
Correct. Congratulations, mate. Well done. The power of elimination has got you to the Royal Adelaide Show. Congratulations. Who will you take?
I'll be taking the grandkids.
Oh, good idea. Well played. That'll be a fun day for you. You'll need to lie down on the backs afterwards. So good luck with that, mate. I've got grandkids. I know what it's like. You'll have a great time. Hey, well done, mate. And if you want tickets, go to theshow.com.au and or Foodland. Look after them. So we have been talking Adelaide Crows. They are going to Sydney. They're going to play against the Swans in their last game of the season. And their midfield coach has been kind enough to join us. Nathan Van Berlo, welcome.
G'day, Timmy. G'day, Campo. Two of my favourites.
Yeah, and good way to start. Quiet week. Mate, it's been a big one, hasn't it? And how have you guys handled the review and everything that's fallen out of the showdown?
Yeah, look, it has been a big week, and it's never nice coming off that side of a showdown, having a loss. But look, we take some really good learnings out of it. In particular, losing our composure, midway through that third quarter and going into the last. We certainly felt like we had the game on our terms and were playing the way that we wanted to. And obviously, once Isaac went down, we felt like we didn't handle certain situations as well as we needed to and didn't capitalise on opportunities that we had. So we licked our wounds, we live and we learn, and hopefully next time we're in a position like that, we perform better.
We've heard that the analysis of Josh Rochelle and the Mark Keane one's been put to bed, that he's gone home for family reasons. Yep. And a lot of the wording that keeps coming up is the values. Now, for those that sort of don't understand what that is, the values derived from the players, coaches, whole of club. How were the values derived?
Oh, we've got a few sets of different values. We've got a whole of club values. The players have their own values, which is I guess compiled by themselves upon what they want to stand for, and we buy into that as coaches as well. And yeah, that's a big part of how we drive, how we want to behave, how we want to be perceived. That's been a long part of footy ever since I've been involved at AFL level in particular, and it's a great way of just bringing yourself back to what's most important for you as a team.
And Veebs, obviously coaching the midfield, we've loved the progression, seeing some of the younger guys coming in, the Taylors, the Dowlings, and how have you seen Dan Curtin's first couple of goes through there? Yeah,
look, Dan's been played across all three lines in his first year with us, and I guess we're still working through where he's going to best fit within our system. He's a super talent, he's a big man, and he moves really well, so we've liked some of his output around the footy, and even ahead of the ball the last couple of weeks he's shown some good signs at ground level and in the air. So we'll still get him some minutes around the footy tomorrow night, and he'll spend some time ahead of the ball as well. And look, it's just great exposure for Dan the last month in particular to be able to finish off his year and understand what it takes to perform at AFL level. And I've got no doubt, knowing the person that he is, he'll go get to work over pre-season and come back bigger and stronger again.
Yeah, and that's the upside, isn't it, mate? That you actually get some opportunities just to sit with him and show him some edits that he can work on over the pre-season. But you're going into a pretty talented Sydney midfield again this week where they haven't rested any. And I love what you did last time with Max Michelani and Chad Warner. Will we see something similar?
Yeah, they've certainly got some depth through there, Campo, and nice of Chad Warner to come back into the team this week. So, look, we've got plans in place for all three of their gun mids. And you throw Robot into that too, actually. He's outstanding, had an outstanding year and supports those three really well. Nick Blake is another one through half back that we've got to keep our eye on, because he runs rings around you if you give him any time and space. So yeah, we'll certainly be looking at different stages to put some attention into some of those guys, whilst also trying to grow our game and give some of our young guys some opportunities to express themselves in their normal positions as well.
Sydney have won their last two games, Collingwood by 3 points, the Bombers by 39, but before that they've been pretty vulnerable. It seems like they're just sort of clawing their way back. So I would say they're a different outfit to the one you played earlier in the year. Yeah,
they were flying when we played them in round 14, and we certainly challenged them in the right way in that game. And yeah, they've had a bit of a struggle over the last probably 8 weeks, and as you said, the last couple of weeks they've found their mojo again, which is nice. So we'll be competing against an informed Sydney tomorrow night at home, and I think it's, I'll look at it as a great challenge for our young group to come up here and play arguably the best team in the comp this year and see how we fare, and hopefully our game style holds up and we can go into the break feeling really good and confident about where things can go for us next year.
Amadi kicked 9 last time. I'm not sure who the matchup was that night, but will it be different this time?
It will be, won't it? I think, for most of it.
Well, there you go. So that will be different.
It will be different tomorrow night, yeah. So obviously James Borlace comes into the mix as well. So we'll have a number of guys roll through their keys ahead of the ball. And yeah, Amadi had an outstanding game against us last time. So I know the boys have gone to work under the guidance of Jack Homsch, and there's a few plans in place that, it's not just him. I mean, Hayden McLean's also been playing some really strong footy ahead of the ball, and Logan McDonald is a supreme young talent. So our backs will have their work cut out, but hopefully we can put enough pressure on up the ground and keep them at bay.
Yeah, and I guess that's really important, Viva, and that's been pretty much consistent the whole year. Your pressure has been outstanding. Where do you think that you've improved, particularly through that midfield area?
Yeah, we've made a big focus throughout, I guess, as a team, and midfield's a big part of that in terms of our defence this year, and we felt like we've taken a step in the right direction in that space and have been more consistent, particularly earlier in the year. I guess the first two-thirds were right up where we wanted to be in terms of defensive transition and how we held up, and that's been a big focus, which, you know better than anyone, Campo, with young kids coming in, that's probably the biggest area of improvement for a lot of them, or area of focus to get their game to the level and run two ways and understand defence both ways. So it's been a big growth for us. Our contest work has held up reasonably well. We haven't been as probably as consistent in that space as we would have liked from the clearance and contest point of view, but we've definitely given some exposure to some of our younger players, which I've got no doubt will hold them in good stead over this summer and in 2025. So, yeah, we understand we've still got a lot of work to do, but there definitely is some silver linings to some of those young guys getting exposure, as well as developing different aspects of our game.
VB, thanks for coming on during the season. All the best in Sydney.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat.
That's Nathan Van Berle, the Crows midfield coach.
Some breaking news while you were chatting to VB in the world of Formula One, and this is massive for Australia. Jack Doohan, of course, the son of five-time world champ motorcyclist Mick Doohan,
legend,
has landed himself a Formula One seat in the 2025 season.
Wow, that's cool.
Which is huge.
Who with?
He's signed with Alpine.
Oh, yeah.
Which means Esteban Ocon's moving on, and Pierre Gasly will be his partner in 2025. So,
handy mentor.
How great is that? Jack Doohan will join Oscar Piastri in the Formula One grid next year, and potentially, seeing how Dan Ricciardo's future lies, there could be 3 Aussies on the grid next year.
It's great.
Exciting times. Yeah. Well done.
Massive news for Australian motorsport.
Sun off. I love it.
Outstanding. Treaders coming up after the 5 o'clock news.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. Are you ready to go?
It's showtime!
It's time for the Royal Adelaide Show, and it's time to celebrate our state, our people, and our produce. 5AA wants to get you and the family to the Royal Show to enjoy everything it has to offer, from rides, animals, wood chopping, Dagwood dogs, and of course, the fireworks. Keep listening to 5AA all across the day for your chance to win money can't buy tickets. The Royal Adelaide Show, August 31st till September 8. Book tickets at theshow.com.au and Foodland.
With Big Difference Home Improvements, you can make a big difference to your next family gathering, your next Christmas lunch, or your next quiet time. Just you, a nice book, favourite bevy, and a place to relax. Big Difference Home Improvements make all the difference when it comes to outdoor blinds and roller shutters, verandas, pergolas, carports, or a stunning timber deck. Ask the Big D team for a free measure and quote today. Don't just make a difference, make a big difference. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
Attention my aged care providers and occupational therapists. Help your clients use their funding wisely with Care Alert, a South Australian family-owned company. Local service guarantees top quality care. Our 24/7 monitored personal alert system with fall detection and GPS location ensures their safety and peace of mind. Recommend Care Alert today by calling 1300 75 85 95 or visiting carealert.com.au. That's carealert.com.au.
Treat your family and friends to something a little fancy from FIVEAA, your family liquor stores. If you relish your winter reds and you like them full-bodied, we have SA-made Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon and Malbec for you. A great way to warm up is with a dram of whiskey, and we have many great Australian distilleries with their own distinct flavours. Beer tastes change too, but you're covered with local craft stouts and porters. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor store for over 45 years.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. Over 30 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Ali from Go Vita Marion and Colonnades. Herbs Agual quercetin to support a healthy immune system. 60 tablets were $53.95, now $35.95. Save 33%. Always read the label and follow instructions for use.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Monopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. The demo sale continues. Edwardstown Mazda are offering a minimum 10% discount on all Mazda demonstrator models and 2 years free scheduled servicing or $1,000 genuine accessories on new cars. Plus get a minimum $2,000 on your old vehicle. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A possible shower tonight down to 12, sunny tomorrow 23. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the 2024 new-gen Mitsubishi Triton with 10 years warranty and servicing. Test drive at Agostino Mitsubishi.
A 16-year-old boy has been charged over a string of break-ins this week. It's alleged the teen was involved in 3 robberies at Blair Athol, Hindmarsh and Kilburn on Wednesday and Thursday. 2 shops and a cafe were targeted. The boy from Salisbury North has been bailed to front court in October. More dead cats have been found dumped beside a road in the Barossa. 7 were recently discovered at Ebenezer, around 10 kilometres north of Nuriutpa. 6 were adults and appear to have been pets, but none were microchipped. Carolyn Jones from the RSPCA says 2 more juveniles have now been found close by.
This is a rural road. There's no CCTV cameras out there. So we're very much seeking some public assistance. If anybody knows anything about this whatsoever, please contact us on 1300 477
A review of the nation's response to domestic violence is making 21 recommendations for change. The panel of 6 experts is calling for a surge of activity to tackle the issue, including a major funding boost for frontline services. They're also recommending more support for children who face violence at home. The federal government says it'll closely consider the report's findings. 3 people could each face up to 10 years jail, charged with conspiring to hide a group of illegal boat arrivals. The man and 2 women allegedly helped 15 people who arrived in Western Australia's Kimberley region back in April. The boat arrival sparked a political firestorm. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says the charges are good news, but the federal government still isn't doing enough to protect our borders.
The AFP and no doubt other agencies have done fantastic work. But they're chasing their tail because they've got a government that provides a weak policy response.
Australia will take over command of a maritime task force protecting shipping in the Red Sea from October. The international team is responsible for keeping the trade route open while it's subject to attacks from Houthi militants. The federal government is only sending personnel, not a warship. Labor argues its primary focus must be closer to home. Kamala Harris has vowed to be a president who unites the country, accepting her party's presidential nomination at the Democratic National Convention. She says she'd be a leader who represents all Americans.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Take sporting entertainment to the next level at Sporties in the Arkaba Hotel, Adelaide's home of live sport.
Adelaide's Josh Rochelle says his future is with the Crows despite being dropped for the last game of the season against Sydney. He'll line up for the Sandful side instead. The 21-year-old raised eyebrows after liking a comment from a fan suggesting he should seek a trade, but he says that was an honest mistake on social media.
That was an accident. I was actually on my own Instagram feed and a few people were liking good things and I wanted to like that, and it was actually the one underneath. So to put that all out there, it was an honest mistake. As I said, I love the football club. They've invested in me heavily and I'm contracted here for a while.
Coach Matthew Nick says Rochelle called him straight away to explain.
I'm not huge on the social media for a few reasons, so only Josh and I will know that, and we've had a good discussion about that.
Port have finalised their team for Sunday's game against Freo. Mitch Georgiades and Jed McKenty return to the side for Ollie Wine's 250th. Quinton Narkle has been omitted, while Dan Houston is ineligible. And Aussie Jack Doohan will race with Formula One team Alpine in 2025. He'll make his Formula One debut in Melbourne next March. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
G'day there at Port Adelaide. Debris on the road following a crash. Commercial Road near the railway line. Old Noarlunga. Traffic lights out there due to a blackout. Main South Road near Victor Harbour Road. Slow for works at Clearview. Hampstead Road near Airedale Avenue. And getting a little busy at the moment at Wingfield for works. The Salisbury Highway near the Wingfield ramp. Cameras this afternoon. Chandler's Hill Road, Happy Valley and Cherry Gardens Road at Cherry Gardens. Dan Murphy's don't match prices, they beat them. Carlton Dry 330ml bottle was 24 case, $47 for My Dan's members. Ends Sunday. Choose to drink wise. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 12 tonight with a possible shower. Sunny tomorrow, 23. Sunday, a shower or two becoming windy and 20. Monday, a shower or two clearing, 18. Right now, it's 25 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglis. Tonight, axed young Crow star Josh Rochelle speaks out. The arthritis drug having incredible results on common skin conditions. How the Powerball's $100 million winner nearly lost her ticket. Plus the staggering number of older Australians considering working beyond their retirement years. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
7 minutes after 5 on this Footy Friday, still to give away that Rusden Blackgut Shiraz for tonight's best caller. So get on the line, 8223 0000. Love your interaction tonight. We have another set of Royal Show tickets to give away. Marty Matner from Sturt Footy Club to join us, and Johnny Kelton stepping in for Tezza this week from racing.com with your tips. And then we head to Friday Night Football at the MCG at 6 o'clock tonight. But right now, let's welcome in Treaders.
Treadray! 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 Warren Treadray. Thanks to Ignition for Men. For top brand tailored fitted men's suits and casual wear, see Ignition for Men, 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Treaders, when's the last time you wore your Ignition for Men jacket you got? I wore mine yesterday, actually.
Yeah, I wore mine last night on my podcast, I do.
Oh, right.
Jeez.
Did
you get one, Tuggers? Did you get one?
Is it a visual?
I did. I didn't get an invite.
Is it a visual?
A bit left out.
No, it can be visual.
It can be.
Can be, yeah, but only the top half.
Oh, right, and that's why
I was wearing shorts jacket on the bottom half.
Like
the old newsreader
the
style.
Old newsreader days.
old style.
Like
no, good stuff. I must apologise. I'm not wearing any of their clothes.
No,
today.
You're not, and that's why I picked it up.
Out of bed.
That's why I picked it up and said, "Hey."
At least you two are on brand though. 5AA.
Don't worry about that.
What do you have to do? Get one of those shirts. I only worked here for about 7 years.
I just picked one out.
You stole Rowies, did you?
Yeah.
Another 13.
It fits me. Is that a worry? If I'm picked Rowies?
All right. First of all, sir, welcome in. Dan got the 5. They didn't renege on that, so he's out. Thought he handled himself well post.
Yeah, I thought he did. Obviously, he's disappointed. I still believe. I don't think there was deliberate malice in it. Did he get him high? Well, I don't think he got him high, but he's got 5 weeks. You know what the AFL's rules are? When the AFL pretty much says they're going for 5 weeks, the interesting bit, take out the Port element of it, and you go, it's very different to the courts. Courts, you've got to prove that you've done something wrong. The AFL,
the opposite.
you've got to prove you haven't done anything
You're
wrong.
innocent.
Yeah, so once you choose to bump,
and someone suffers concussion, if it wasn't clear before the incident, it's certainly crystal clear.
Yeah, I think the front.
If you're going to attempt do that, put an arm out, make it look like you tackle, but you're still probably going to get suspended for that.
Doesn't matter if once like you said, once there's a head knock of some sort, you're looking like you're going to be in trouble. So that's out. So now the important thing is, how do we cover off Dan Houston? Because we heard Ken Hinkley say, look, there's several options and the like, and perhaps Ryan Burton's one of those. How do you see it? And it's an important spot because he is an incredible distributor of the football.
Yeah, well, I heard driving in what Ken said in his presser, what you guys played. So I agree with that. Ryan Burton's a very good backup. Right now, he's not the form Dan Houston's in because he's probably career best form and would be close to an All-Australian after being All-Australian last year. And on form, he's probably top 2 or 3 player, 4 maybe, if you want to argue and debate it out with a beer in front of you with a bunch of mates, who's better out of the 3 key midfielders who've been elite this year, and then also Houston. But Burton got the show when they pushed him back in the showdown. He went back for a bit. For me, he goes straight back there. Sin's an option, but he's not even in the team this week, so Burton will get first roll of the dice. And it's up to him to prove it. And when Georgiadis comes back in, that's effectively the 3-way. Burton was playing forward, replacing Georgiadis. Georgiadis comes back, pushes him to defence, and Houston's been suspended. He's out.
So, have you been down to the club this week? What's the vibe like in terms of, like, obviously they'd be disappointed with what's happened with Dan, and clearly he's an important player, not only for this week, because there's still plenty to play for, but then working into the final series. That's a bit of somewhat of a deflation, for want of a better word, in there?
Yeah, I haven't been down as such inside the club. But speaking to some people during the week, there's an element of, they even know at that stage when I'd made the conversation, he'd already been suspended for 5 and hadn't had the appeal finalised yet. There is a sense of up and about and confidence in the way they're playing, which is good.
Yep.
Because you couldn't have said that 6 weeks ago when, however long that Brisbane game was. And then you go, it just fell over Carlton, they were off less days break. I think it's been a slow increment from a great reality check of this wasn't good enough to then what we're seeing, a big win against Sydney, a solid performance last week against Adelaide. So it just feels like it's building. But as you say, you got a big game Sunday afternoon in Perth for a team, Fremantle, who could be playing for their finals future, depending on what happens in the Carlton game beforehand.
How does it change the mindset if Freo know they can't make it? How do you reckon it changes the whole team's mindset? Do you reckon it assists Port Adelaide?
I never go that deep into it because fundamentally you're a professional whose job is to play a game of footy the best of your ability. I get if I was a Fremantle player, if I was a Carlton player, are you playing for more? You're still trying your best. But are you emotionally playing a little bit more, make you a little bit better? I'm not sure if you can measure that. So I think from Port's perspective, you go, they win, they finish second, they lose, they could slide as far as 4th. So for me, it just fundamentally comes back to your same preparation, your same attack on the football, and the same reason why I think they've won, 5 out of the last 6 or something like that, to say, if we do what we do well, then we'll be able to finish second. And for me, it's the controllables. Don't even worry about what you can't control, because as we've seen in the last 6 weeks, the favourites, Carlton and Essendon were right in the running probably 6-8 weeks ago, and now one won't play finals and one's a chance to if they control their own destiny.
Yeah, let's not talk about Carlton Treaders, but...
Bit nervous, are you?
Well, there's another one out. Apparently Williams is out now.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, we'll cover that off later.
Wow.
But I am fascinated this week, mid. Fremantle, their strength, there's no question, with Sarong and Young and Brayshaw versus Horne-Francis and Butters. I mean, it's just mouth-watering for me, who is a footy purist and love the midfield battle. That's going to be pivotal.
Yeah, if you look at and I'm not sure you look at closer the numbers than I do, but if you look at young talent, they're probably number 1 or 2 in the comp.
Freo?
No, well, for Port and Adelaide,
absolutely.
For age, demo versus playing there every week.
Yep.
And if you go back probably a month, you'd go, Freo are humming, their form's great, they look like they're going to be a chance for top 4 and home finals, to now they're in a stage where they're relying on others to lose so they can win. So, yeah, that's the big bit. And Jordan Sweet in the ruck against a formidable ruck duo that probably hasn't really clicked this year, whereas previous years it certainly had. So I think Sweetie's been good.
No, he has, absolutely. I mean, Soldo certainly had it early in the season and then with his injury. But, you know, you look on paper, contested possession, Port have improved over the last few weeks. The clearance battle, pivotal in this game. Both teams are 1 and 2 at centre bounce, and that's going to give either team the ascendancy through there in terms of field position. There's no question about that. The thing that I think Port Adelaide is in favour of Treaders is their pressure. They've been pressure number 2 all year, Port Adelaide, and last week was off the charts. They were 200 last week. Crows were not far behind, so that was a great precursor to perhaps what's going to happen in the finals. The thing about Freo, they're ranked 15th in that area, so that's their opportunity for Port Adelaide. For me, for them to go deep in September, they need to get their turnover game humming, because their clearance game is really solid. But as you know, 35% of your score only comes from there. And if you're banking on winning through a clearance score in a final, it's not going to happen. You need to be really sharp in your turnover game, and that's the only chink in Port's armour at the moment.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Early in the year, it was even uglier because it was all contest and it was all clearance game and centre bounce clearance, as opposed to causing turnover. And probably the last 6 weeks, once you got better pressure on the footy, that game's come in because you're defending from better positions. Because you remember early in the year, the first showdown, it was like pushing too far at the game. It was almost Russian roulette defending. So, and that's surprising me, that number with Fremantle, because Fremantle through Longmuir is well known for defensive structure, but maybe they've had to try and loosen that to get a bit more score, because they've been, you know, the key players have been out of games, which has certainly helped them over the, you know, Michael Walters comes back in, but they sort of haven't had their best run of forwards being in there or offensive for quite some time.
Well, they defend with the ball. Sorry, Timmy. They defend with the ball, Freo. So you see they chip around. It's an uncontested type scenario. But what they do is they handball receive. They flick it around. So that invites pressure. When you start flicking the ball around, that invites pressure, and Port are very good at it.
Over.
Yeah.
And they've lost the last 3 too.
Just looking at the interchange there, Treaders, I just brought it up for you. Sub. We've been trying to sort of rattle our brains on who we think might be sub. We think it might be McEntee. Narkle goes back for a run. I think he had 3 in a row as sub. So
I went through it 5 weeks in a row as sub.
Was it that many?
I went back and went through the diary.
Oh, that's
and
a record.
And I didn't call the Gold Coast game, so I'm not sure he was sub that day, but he could have even been sub that day. So it was at least 5 that I know in a row.
That's a lot.
So that says the old.
No,
rule?
He was sub against Gold Coast, because I filled in for you.
That's
game.
6.
Yeah, he definitely did that.
Well, there you go. That's 6 then. 6 in a week. So the old play 2. You know, the old school Maggies playing. If you didn't get used on the bench, back to the 2s after 3 weeks.
Full run,
He's had 6 of them.
I've got 7. He's had 7 this year, all since the bye.
The Bible's out.
Yeah, so he's had 7 for the year, 5 in a row.
Hang on, is this an auction?
Just give us That's the number. I was about to say, text us in, unique home style text, or the call us in and said anyone got 8.
Right, that's unbelievable. Anyway, besides 7.
He is the highest paid player per minute.
Who would you expect to play that role of sub this week? It looks reasonable.
I don't think Evans has done anything wrong.
No.
So I'd say it'd be McEntee.
Yeah.
And it's Freo, so don't be surprised they take an extra couple of travellers too, just in case. You know what I mean?
Okay. Can those travellers be sub or not?
Well, if you drop someone out of the team,
the
only way you can drop someone out of the starting 18, the rules are, is if they don't play in the lower level. So if you have someone's injured and doesn't play, and if there's someone in doubt, then you could, and for Perth, historically, Port has consistently taken 2, sometimes 3 extras because of the flights, and the Maggies play, I think, on the Saturday for their last game of the year against the Dogs.
That's correct. Nicely done. What I'll do, I'll come back, if that's okay. We'll have a quick break. I want to ask you 2 things. One, are you a bye before finals man or a bye before grand final man? And the Ron Barassi medal for the captain of the winning premiership team. I want to ask you about that, the naming of it, and do we need one?
What about Josh Rochelle? What's happened to him?
All right, hang tight there, Treaders, because on the other side of this break as well,
you're poking your nose in other people's business.
Channel 7, you're going to want to hear this, Timmy, and our listeners. Channel 7 have just had an exclusive interview with the Crows captain, Jordan Dawson. He's had something to say, which I think will ruffle a few feathers as well. So we'll get to that after we check your traffic. For top brand tailor-fitted men's suits and casual wear, see Ignition for Men at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Crash to look out for this afternoon at Elizabeth, Phillip Highway near Crockerton Road. Debris on the road at Port Adelaide following an earlier smash, Commercial Road near the railway line. And traffic lights on the blink at Old Noarlunga due to a blackout, Main South Road near Victor Harbour Road. Slow going Main North Road at Enfield, busy Anzac Highway at Ashford with a camera, Coromandel Parade at Coromandel Valley. Beaumont's Clearance Centre, Richmond is closing. Grab a white vanity and oval basin mixer, not $8.50, cleared for $4.99. Only at Beaumont's Richmond Clearance Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
Get a coach's perspective each week on the 5AA Sports Show when Rowie and Timmy G chat with Scott Camporeale for Coach's Corner. Thanks to Unique Homestyle Foods, proudly baking for hundreds of South Australian businesses for 35 years. See the difference.
Whether you're in the market for a small, mid or large Toyota SUV, your journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Walk through their brand new state-of-the-art undercover showroom for new and demo vehicles in stock across the range. Yaris Cross, Corolla Cross, RAV4, Kluger and Land Cruiser. Your Toyota SUV journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals.
Glenelg has something for everyone. Beach, sunsets, cafes, and the $3.9 million grand prize in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. A fully furnished Scott Salisbury masterpiece with soaring ceilings, outdoor living, a swimming pool, and it comes with $500,000. Get your tickets now at homelottery.com.au. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. homelottery.com.au. Licence M14585.
Couple of personal questions, Campo.
Okay.
Have you ever tried to go four-wheel driving in a hatchback?
No.
No, you wouldn't do that. Maybe you decided to clean the gutters with a ladder. No?
No.
Good. Perhaps you, because I think middle-aged men and ladders do not go together.
No.
That is just something waiting to happen. Do you ever put flat-pack furniture together without following instructions?
Yes.
Only by myself.
Well, it's never a smart idea, is it, mate?
No, never a smart idea. But now you can make it with McSmart, with a new McSmart's meal from McMaccas.
Yep. Hey, exactly. How many Macs in that?
Yeah, Macs and Mac.
Now, what it is, the deal is 2 cheeseburgers or 2 chicken cheeseburgers. Sounds interesting. Or one of each, which I don't mind, a combo, with small fries and a small soft drink, just $6.95. Now, that's McSmart.
And it's available from 10:30 a.m. to midnight at participating restaurants, excludes McDelivery.
Go Maccas.
Weber Weekend is 2 days packed with barbecue brilliance right in time for the new barbie season. It's on tomorrow and Sunday from 10 to 3 at Weber Stores Mount Barker, Myland, Jeps Cross and the Weber Grill Academy in Rose Park. Get the kids cooking too, or up your Barbie game with special masterclasses. It's all free, so look, learn, taste and have fun. Kick off a tasty summer of barbecuing ahead. Find out more at Weber.com and search for Weber Weekend.
Your baby's mind is growing even before they arrive. The more you talk and sing and play, the more their mind will thrive.
Every time you interact with your child, you're helping grow their mind. For more information, visit wordsgrowminds.org.au.
What was it Auntie Pam would say? When I arrive at the pearly gates, I want to pull up with nothing left in the tank and also sideways.
Aunt Pam was a character. You could hear her laugh from miles away.
I'll never forget weekends at that beach shack of hers.
And her interesting decorations.
You know, I've never met anyone who could be so late all the time. She managed to show up on time today, though. 10 points.
See you around, Aunt Pam.
A unique life deserves a distinctive funeral. Distinctivefunerals.com.au.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Rolling up the opposition crowd and players unnecessarily is probably not going to benefit us to win the game. So that's ultimately what we're there to do and play our roles and perform to our best of our ability and to get the opposition up and about before the game. It doesn't help us win, so that's where we were coming from.
Wow, so 23 after 5, that was Crows captain Jordan Dawson, exclusive on Channel 7 tonight. Unnecessarily riling up Port Adelaide fans and players was Josh Rochelle.
Matthew Nicks say it had nothing to do with that?
He sure did.
And then we heard Josh say, I didn't put the people first last week.
And then
Prioritising others.
you had Rory Laird,
Prioritising others.
senior player, clip him saying effectively what Jordan Dawson just said.
Yeah, well, I think Laird wasn't as a clip
No.
per se.
No.
I think he was asked the question and he sort of answered it as best he could.
And he was honest. So the fact is, I like the honesty, but they're clearly not on the same
we
page
clip
for what they're
people
trying
when
to
they want to
say.
be honest, and we clip them when they don't we?
I think Jordan Dawson, he's always honest, is he not?
Yeah.
So why's the coach then come out and say it's got nothing to do with that?
Well, this was crisis
Because
management
this
this morning,
like,
wasn't it? from the
Crows
Crows?
fans, they're not buying that. That's failing the pub test. And don't worry, no one gets it right. Clubs get it wrong all the time, but I think you need to be consistent with your message, particularly with the Crows fans and hearing how many phone calls from you guys have got all week.
Was that the whole... I'd be interested to hear the whole...
Well, that'll be on
piece of
7
it.
tonight, I suppose.
I'd be interested to see the whole piece of it, or whether it's just been snipped for that bit for the purpose of, because we always have editorial rights, don't we?
Yeah, of course. Well, that's what they've
But
put
it'd be
out.
interesting to
So.
see what the whole... Well, what the question was asked and how he answered the whole
But
thing.
answering your question, because we talked about it on Monday, Matthew Nicks effectively said today that they've been working with him for multiple weeks on this type of stuff. And if that's the case, then I'm okay with it. If it's transparent, it's been dealt with. But it just seems like they're trying to protect him, trying to handle it, even though you're dropping him. And the Crows fans are probably not questioning... They're questioning what the real reason is, isn't it? Because it hasn't been said until the captain has just said that then, and that contradicts what the coach said this afternoon.
Interestingly, too, we mentioned about this time last night that there was an Instagram comment online that Josh Rochelle had liked, and it was somebody saying, we wouldn't blame you if you asked for a trade. Well, this is what Josh Rochelle said in response to that this morning.
That was an accident. I was actually on my own Instagram feed and a few people were liking good things and I wanted to like that and it was actually the one underneath. So to put that all out there, it was an honest mistake. As I said, I love the football club. They've invested in me heavily and I'm contracted here for a while.
Buying that, Tim? Has he got massive fingers? Or nose? But you know what? Even if he did like it, he's clearly peeved off.
Yeah, but don't do it. That's just... I just think that's silly.
Stay off socials?
Correct. Like, you're copying enough heat. Like, it's just silly.
Yeah, don't join in. Let's go to Ingle Farm. G'day, Gary.
Good afternoon, Timmy. Hope you gentlemen are all fine today.
Thank you, sir.
Look, I know you guys are all sick to death of the Dan Houston, Isaac Rankin incident, but I'm really sickened by the double standard of the AFL. If you look at what Houston did, he made a split-second decision. He bumped a guy who was running towards him and was, basically pretty much half a step away. Last year, Cozzy Pickett took his eye off the ball, nailed a guy in the head by leaping off the ground and whacking him in the face with his shoulder, and he got 2 weeks. It's just a joke. It's a shocking double standard, and I'm really sick of it.
Fair point, isn't it?
Understandable.
Yeah. Because, again, I want to take out that frontal bump because I think it can only end in tears. Either way, for the player that's on the receiving end or the player that's going to cop the ban, I reckon we've got to remove it. And then it removes the Cozzy Pickett one as well, doesn't it?
And I'm not saying this is right, but what happens is they keep upping
the ante
to make sure that players know that it's important,
So
and then
rub
they
it out.
Correct, and that's your point. Absolutely, Tim. I love that point earlier in the week because I think that's definitely going to happen. But yeah, we see different things. Whether it's that, whether it's a sling tackle, whether it's we just keep upping the suspension on the basis that we're trying to eradicate it.
Yeah. And that got eradicated in the off-season effectively with the Maynard decision, and they changed the ruling and wrote in a line effectively your act with the ability to cause serious injury. And as soon as you do that, anyone that steps on a footy field and can have a concussion, you're going to cop it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but it's the reality we live with.
Hey, quickly, mate.
Yes.
Buy before finals, buy before grand final. Your thoughts?
Grand final, because the top four don't get the advantage.
I'm the same. I agree with you. I reckon it's in favour of the bottom four. Your thoughts?
I don't like either.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
I like that.
But he didn't give me that option. No. He just gave me before the finals or before.
Well, that was C. Okay, we wanted to see what you said first out of A and B.
And you come with C.
Nice setup, mate. Beautifully. Okay, I like.
All right,
I like the letter C. The Barassi medal for the captain of the Premiership team. Yeah.
No.
And is that just no because you don't want a medal for the captain, or no because you just don't enough?
I don't think it's necessary, because you play for the Premiership Cup and your own medallion. You don't need another medallion. And I feel like we just keep handing out awards and naming things for the sake of naming things.
Good call. Back in my day.
Don't say that,
Don't
Tim.
say
You get
that,
in
Tim.
trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, bad words.
Back in my day, I got a West End deck chair. I was pretty happy with it.
Did you put your name on it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Steve
you're
got that. Yeah. Stephen at Seaview Downs. G'day, Steve.
Oh, good afternoon, guys, and particularly g'day to Warren. My feelings with Rochelle being dropped, and I believe what Nick said, I don't think it's to do with what he said about the Ports, whatever, and I respect Port, don't worry. But I think it's an issue that I've watched him throughout the year when he plays. He doesn't go in for the hard ball, and there was one particular incident on the Sunday's game where, to me, he shirked going in to get the hard contested ball, and that's happened over a long period of the time this year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's a unique home-style food text to back you up, Steve, where everyone's assuming it was about the antics. On one or too many occasions, he's been shirking contests, not putting his head over the ball or putting his body on the line. A player cannot be picked if he backs out a contest. That was Jason at Hallecote.
Yeah.
So he backs you up there.
That's true, but Jordan Dawson's just told us what his belief was. So for me, that's inconsistent.
Yeah,
That's the big bit.
snippet.
Yes.
In that snippet there, let's get the whole story, not the half story. All right,
Send you
thanks
through
for
the
coming
whole
in, mate.
3-minute montage.
Yes, nothing feels or looks as good as a suit tailored to fit you perfectly. This is our friends at Ignition for Men. It's comfort and style is important to you. You've got to go to Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of Armani, Canali, Xenia, 54 Paynham Road. Stepney brings us treaders.
Outstanding work, Timmy. All right, call in 8223 0000 if you want to play Timmy's quiz. We got one more chance before we get to the weekend to get you off to the Royal Adelaide Show with a double pass. We'll get that happening straight after the 5:30 headlines, and we'll take more of your calls next.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A 16-year-old boy has been charged over break-ins at Blair Athol, Hindmarsh and Kilburn this week. A large earthquake has rocked the Upper Hunter in New South Wales, leaving windows smashed and structural damage. Ambassador Kevin Rudd was at the DNC to see Kamala Harris formally accept the presidential nomination. And in sport, round 24 in the AFL gets underway tonight with Melbourne and Collingwood. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Help make a real difference to young lives. Register today for Operation Flinders City to Summit this September.
Crash to look out for Woodville North, Torrens Road near Hanson Road. Another collision at Elizabeth, Phillip Highway near Crockerton Road, and debris on the road from Elliot Prang at Port Adelaide, Commercial Road near the railway line. Still got lights out at Old Noarlunga due to a blackout. Main South Road near Victor Harbour Road with a camera tonight. Coromandel Parade at Blackwood. The first Marriott Hotel for Adelaide has opened its doors as part of the iconic GPO building with spacious rooms and suites, restaurants and bar. Visit AdelaideMarriott.com. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a possible shower tonight down to 12, sunny tomorrow 23. Right now it's 24 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
There's a dangerous and growing view for the Adelaide Football Club that it's become a bit of a safe space for has-beens and never-will-be's. And people have had enough. And this Rochelle story...
Feels like a breaking point.
It does, doesn't it? And I'm not trying to rev it up. I'm just trying to reflect.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
Has the club thought this through?
Yeah, this has a real straw camel's back feel to it.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Hey guys, did you know that Austrac Campers is just around the corner? That's right, at Camden Park we have a massive showroom set up with all of our models on display, so come and see for yourself.
Austrac Campers.
Suzuki is celebrating 40 years of Swift with an all-new Suzuki Swift Hybrid. With enhanced styling, safety and technology, plus a very swift hybrid engine. It means that the fun can last forever.
We gon' have fun, we gon' have fun, we gon' have fun.
So book a test drive today in Australia's best value hybrid, the all-new Suzuki Swift Hybrid. For fun's sake.
We've all got favourites in life, and I'll tell you what, I've got one. It's up on that beautiful hill in the Barossa, ancient soils, old vines, and plenty of first-class wines. Can you sort of guess where I'm going?
I think I know. A must-stop while you're there is my mates at Rusden.
Ah, correct, 100%.
Yep, I've done the trip, and there's nothing better than a kicking back with a glass of my old faithful black guts.
Yes, it's a lovely drop, but there's plenty of other lovely drops there as well. The Rusden family boasts 7 generations of grape growing experience, and they reckon they've got the pretty special patch of dirt up there. The climate's ideal, and they can produce the quality wines year in, year out. Trust me, go and do the cellar door, do the little wine tasting. You will not be disappointed. You'll go, oh, please, please, give me that one, give me that one, give me that one. And then all of a sudden you've got a sack truck.
So do yourself a favour and take a visit to their cellar door, as Timmy just said, in the Barossa, and make your next red of Rusden. Check out rusdenwines.com.au.
Spend more time enjoying life. With an ECH home care package, you receive the support you need to stay at home and get more out of life. ECH home care services are provided by a team of caring professionals. So if you or someone you care about has some health challenges, find out more about ECH's range of services that can enable you to remain living confidently and independently. Call 1300 275 324 or visit our website at ech.asn.au.
Can you tune that thing, please? Now that made a big difference. If your outdoor area is out of tune with the rest of your fantastic home, get in touch with Big Difference Home Improvements. Outdoor blinds, verandas, pergolas, carports, or a stunning timber deck. The Big D team will give you a free measuring quote, and you'll love their passion and service. Don't just make a difference, make a big difference. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Campo in for Rowie. He'll be back next Tuesday night. It's 24 minutes to 6 before we get to Friday night footy. Melbourne and Collingwood at the MCG at 6 o'clock this evening. Getting back to your calls in just a moment. 8223 0000. Bottle of Black Guts to give away. Marty Matner from Sturt and Johnny Kelton from Racing.com still ahead. But right now, let's get some people to the show.
It's showtime! It's showtime! It's showtime!
All right, Timmy, your quiz.
Ooh, yeah, alrighty. Let's get to the Royal Adelaide Show. We've got Tracy taking on Daniel. And Tracy, you're going first. And I'll give you a question and I'll give you a range as well, Tracy.
Okay.
So the question is, Mark Keane has the most intercept possessions of any Crows player this season. How many intercept possessions does he have? Now, it's between 150 and 170. Go, Tracy.
Okay, I'll do 165.
165. Alrighty, let's go to Daniel. Daniel, it's between 150 and 165.
160.
160. Okay, let's go back to Tracy. Tracy, it's between 160 and 165.
Okay, 163.
163. Okay, Daniel, it's between 160 and 163, Daniel.
162. Keep it rolling.
Tracy, was that for Frit's
Sorry,
sake?
Trace.
Might have been Frit's.
No, that's so sorry. Well done, Daniel. I'll try again tomorrow.
Oh, love the passion. Well played. Daniel, you're going to the Royal Adelaide Show. Congratulations. If you want tickets, go to theshow.com.au or go to Foodland.
Got a little bit fruity at the end, didn't it?
That was very risky.
It's Friday. Oh, it is Friday.
That was extremely risky.
She might be on the Rusdens already.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, don't mind that, though. I love the passion. She wants those tickets. That's understandable. Let's go out to Hillbank and talk to Dean. G'day, Dean. G'day, Dean.
Got you, Dean.
You there, buddy?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, mate, good.
Yeah, good. I want to talk about Rochelle if I can. I think he's going to be a great footballer in time.
Yeah.
But I think what's wrong with him is the other caller was right. He doesn't chase out a defence.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to be leery, and he doesn't share the ball. And I saw one of the games about 3 weeks ago. We were watching it, and I said to my girlfriend, Walker, you know how they touch fists at the end of the game when they've won?
Yep.
Walker wouldn't touch his fist because Walker was free in the goals by himself, and Rochelle had a shot and missed. Now, what it is, it's about being a team player. So he needs to learn that the players around him are probably shitted off. Sorry, not happy, because the simple reason is that he's not a team player, and that's the problem with Rochelle. It's all about him. He needs to learn that if he's a team player, he'd be absolutely fantastic. And that's my opinion. I think that's why he got dropped in the end, because he doesn't chase and he doesn't pass.
Thanks, Dean. Yeah, I think there's probably some maturing to do there.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
To be honest, I mean, I've criticised him as well during the games when he hasn't done it. And I reckon his last 3 or 4 weeks, I have noticed that he has done it. But this is a cumulative thing. This is multiple layers. So even though we hear one or two things, this is a multiple of layers. Whether it's contested possessions, whether it's chasing in the forward line, whether it's prioritising others, whether it's this is a combination of things.
Just come to a crescendo in round 24.
Correct.
Which is probably the surprising thing. Let's go to Chris at Park Holme. G'day, Chris.
G'day, Tim. Campo.
How are you, Chris?
I know it's been done to death. I just want to have another go at it, though, with the Houston thing. Look, the main point about all this is that Isaac Rankin gets back to good health. He's the victim after all.
Correct.
And let's hope that's the case. Tread has said some interesting things. He said, look, in his view, there was no real malice in the bump, and in his view, he didn't hit him high. Nevertheless, it's the consequence of the bump that brings that big penalty. And I know there's been a rule adjustment post-Maynard, but it just beggars belief that in the course of one season you have results looking like that, where a guy gets off and another guy gets 5. And the guy that got off, you could argue, his contact was with the head of the opposition player, unlike Van Houston's. It just feeds into the cynicism about the AFL being certainly not a level playing field, and a worse bias towards some clubs.
Yeah, Chris, I reckon it goes back. It might have been the caller a bit earlier. Was it Dennis that said, hang on, pick it straight up the middle and all the rest of it? And then you said, well, it just seems to be escalating each week, and it's because they won't take it out. Once you take it out and say, okay, that's illegal, then you don't have to. Otherwise, we'll be waiting until people are getting 12 weeks and going, well, it's still part of the. It's actually part of the. As Ray Chamberlain told us, it's still part of the rules that you can bump someone up the middle.
Yeah, and I think where this goes as well, there's no two cases are the same.
No.
There's always little idiosyncrasies between each different one. Like the Maynard one, he's coming off a centre bounce. Yes, the consequences are the same in terms of he was knocked out, but they're different scenarios. That's the way I see it. They're not always the same. And that's where the difficulty is when you're doing those things for the MRO. But ultimately, I 100% agree with you. I've said it all week, Timmy. I agree with where they're going to go with it next year.
Like fingerprints, no two are the same. Let's go to Cadell. G'day, Philip.
G'day, Tim. I just wanted to move. I'm going to ask a question and then ask if I can make a statement after you answer. I'm just thinking ahead to after this weekend. Obviously, we have the finals.
Yes.
What do you think? If you finish top 4, what do you think the best path is to the grand final?
By choosing the fact that you get to the grand final and win, Philip, I reckon the best path would be if you were able to potentially play nearly every week. If you could play 2 and then have a bye and then play prelim grand final, that'd be great. But the system doesn't allow for that. And this is where you come in about that game. Bye before, the top 4 have to wait. They win, they have to have another week off. And then they play a prelim into a grand final. So, Philip, what's your statement? What path do you think it's best?
Well, I wanted to draw it back to the Dan Houston penalty. And I guess it goes for any penalty or suspension that occurs at this time of the year. He was handed 5. If they didn't appeal, it was going to be left at 5. Obviously, he would miss out.
Yep.
I guess what I'm getting at is, do you want your side to lose any games during the final? Because let's suggest that any player that gets a suspension like that and wins their appeal when it gets reduced to, say, 4 games, you're still you're still wishing your side to lose a game so the guy's going to be available for the grand final should they make it.
But there's 4 weeks of finals, Philip, so even if you lost, you've got 4 games. He's going to miss them all.
Yeah, no. If he missed this week, then there's still the possibility
because he's got the minor round. Because he's got the minor round. Yep.
Yep. So what I'm getting at is losing a game. Is that what you want for your side?
No, you never played it.
You're wishing your side to lose a game to be available for that player, any player, whether it's Houston or anyone else, to be available for grand final.
No, Philip already lived through it in 1988. Our captain got rubbed out and he got 5 weeks. We had 3 minor round games. We won them all, finished top, went bang, bang, won the flag. Not for 1 week did we think, let's lose them so that we can get Jono back in the team. You just can't think that way, Philip. So if you've got the chance to keep winning, you just keep winning. Let's go to Greenwith. G'day, Mike.
Boys, how you going?
Good, buddy.
For all your listeners out there, last night's podcasting, your interview with Razor Ray Chamberlain was outstanding.
Oh, good. It was pretty entertaining, I thought, Mike.
Oh, boys, that's why I'm ringing. Congratulate him for his final game tonight. He does so many good things for football, so many good things for umpires. And for all you kids, boys and girls that are sitting in your cars, at your houses right now, get into footy umpiring. It is an outstanding pastime. Ray spoke to the Adelaide Footy League umpires on our Monday night Zoom meeting this week, and he was absolutely outstanding. And the positive comments that have come out of that have been awesome. I want you to watch this space. I'm trying to get him over to Adelaide next year for my 300th amateur league game.
Wow.
If we can get this happening, it's a little bit of a goal of mine. It'll be an outstanding year. So that'll be about this time next year.
All right. Well, give us a ring, Mike. We'll give you a bit of airtime, mate.
And on that, Golden Grove play Teacher Gully tomorrow, C1, Div 1 reserves and Div 1. So a few of us are out there for that game. So for 6 of us to have the privilege to go out there tomorrow and umpire that footy match. I know there's a lot of big games around Adelaide tomorrow, but that rivalry is hot and great community football. Boys, thank you very much for your time.
Well done, Mike. Fantastic stuff. You know what? I don't know. I just got a feeling in me bones. I reckon that's worth the Rusden's Black Guts.
Oh, well, you're going to award it early? Very nice,
How's
Timmy.
That?
There you
Straight
go.
off the cap. It's not many people praise umpires, and it took an umpire to do it.
Mike at Greenwith, congratulations. You've won a bottle of Rusden Black Guts Shiraz. They're in the Barossa Valley, and they are home of the Black Guts. RusdenWines.com.au. Let's get to your roads out there. Marty Matner and Johnny Kelton to come for top brand tailor-fitted men's suits and casual wear. See Ignition for Men at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
G'day there at Woodville North, a crash to look out for Torrens Road near Hanson Road. Another collision at Elizabeth, Phillip Highway near Crocknerton Road. Debris on the road from Elliot Prang at Port Adelaide, Commercial Road near the railway line, and traffic lights on the blink at Old Noarlunga. Due to a blackout, Main South Road near Victor Harbour Road. Cameras Main North Road, Elizabeth Park, and Sherwood's Road at Ranella. Now at Harvey Norman, save $2,000 on the Samsung 98-inch TV, plus bonus local delivery and a $500 gift card. Hurry, this huge offer ends Sunday. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The National Disability Insurance Scheme does more than support individuals with disabilities. It paves the way for extraordinary people to thrive. 5AA is helping you navigate the NDIS by highlighting great NDIS companies that are making a difference, like Respirico Healthcare, who are dedicated to making the world a more accessible place for people living with disabilities. Keep listening for more great NDIS businesses here on Adelaide's 5AA.
Join Gliderol in celebrating the Colorbond Steal the Show promotion. By purchasing a roller door or sectional door made from Colorbond steel from Gliderol, now or within the last 12 months, you could win $100,000. Visit gliderol.com.au today for a free measure and quote. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply. See colorbond.com/steal the show, 18 plus only. Strict purchase and eligibility criteria apply. Ends 30/11/24.
Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth the trip, and now there's Barossa Mazda, Murray Street, Nuriotpa. It's SA's newest Mazda dealership, and it's having its first clearance sale. Save thousands on new and demo Mazda CX-5, BT50, CX-30, CX-60. In fact, the whole Mazda range. Experience the difference in the Barossa with outstanding service, a great range of vehicles, state-of-the-art new facility, and you'll see why Barossa Mazda is well worth the trip. BarossaMazda.com.au.
One of the best things about South Australia is there's so much of it. Fortunately, getting a parcel from one side to the other is easy with Stateliner. Sure, Stateliner have a fleet of modern, comfortable buses, but they'll also carry freight across the state for you. Affordable rates, and your parcel goes on the next available bus. From the city to Port Pirie, Whyalla and Port Augusta, Ceduna and Port Lincoln, the Riverland, Mount Gambier and many towns in between. Get your parcel moving quickly. Put it on the Stateliner bus.
Tommy, what gets you up in the morning for a hit of golf?
Timmy, there's nothing better than stepping out on the first hole and feeling the anticipation of a great day. What about you?
It's the crack of the driver, sends the ball straight down the middle of the fairway. What gets you up for a game, Rowie?
Timmy, for me, it's the kerplonk of the ball finding the cup.
You know what gets me up for a game of golf, fellas?
We know, Pimbo. It's about 8 missed calls and a drive-by.
Drummond Golf. For the love of golf.
Over 50 and ready to dive into something amazing? This is for you. We're planning for your future with 2 new over 50s lifestyle resorts in Goola and Encounter Bay. With our vision for world-class facilities and endless activities, your next phase of life could deliver your best years yet with pools, gymnasiums, bowling, greens and more. Visit our new display centre at 1 Banfield Road, Goolwa North, or check out lakesideresort.com.au or oceanviewresort.com.au.
Why choose between growing your portfolio or shrinking its carbon footprint when you can do both? With LGT Crestone, you get the trusted service of a local firm and the strength of a multinational, giving Australian investors the best of both worlds. To speak with a private wealth advisor, visit lgtcrestone.com.au. LGT Crestone Wealth Management Limited, ABN 50005 311937, AFSL 231127. Eligibility criteria apply. See website for terms.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sport Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
10 minutes to 6, Friday night footy coming up here on 5AA. Melbourne and Collingwood at the MCGs. We kickstart the final home and away round of the season. Johnny Kelton as well from Racing.com filling in for Tezza will join us in a moment.
Absolutely. There's a big game of, big round of SANFL footy this weekend, all being played at the same time, so we can find out how everything's going to finish in the finals. And yes, I am. I'm going to this particular game. Beautiful. It is at the Unley or Thomas Farms Foods Oval, and it's going to be the coach Marty Matner to join us. G'day, Marty.
Afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good, buddy. I did your game last week. Gee, I thought that first half, Westies really threw the kitchen sink at you. Took you a while to shake them off, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. They've been. I guess they've been playing some pretty good footy all year, and sort of knew it was going to be a tough game. But yeah, the first half was a real arm wrestle. But I think we probably just wore them down a little bit in that late in the second quarter, and then I thought the third quarter we started playing, I guess, a bit better, and the game started to open up a little bit more. And the last quarter we had a really good quarter as well.
I was impressed with your midfield. I just thought they persisted.
Yeah, I think we've got. I guess the thing with our midfield is pretty good depth in it. You got the Snellings and Battersbys and Lewis's, but then Dakin's been really good this year, and Joel Teely and Slimming and Henry Carey through the wings as well. So I feel like our depth has been really good this year, which probably in the end just wore Westies down a bit, and that was probably that second half and last quarter able to get on top and just put more pressure on them for the whole quarter as well.
And Marty, you obviously lost to Glenelg last year. Where do you think you've improved? Has it been more list or game style or just a bit of continuity?
It's probably a combo of all those things and others. I think our list has improved definitely. I think that's through experience as well of the final series last year. But adding Snelling and probably just Connor McFadden forward. I thought our backline's always been pretty good. We had some young guys coming through. Zach Becker's stepped up this year.
He's been excellent.
And he's sort of taken that McFadden role, I guess, which allowed Connor to go forward. And he's been really good for us. And I just think it's that experience, a bit of development of the group, and change of, probably a little bit of change of game style. It's probably been that bit more attacking this year. I think we're averaging about 10 more points a game, and we've still been able to keep our defence at about the same level. So, it's always a work in progress, but I've been pleased with how we've been come along this year.
And obviously you oversee the whole footy program, Marty, and I had the pleasure of coaching with you at Adelaide. All teams from 16s, 18s, reserves and the seniors are all in finals, so that's a wonderful achievement by you and the footy club.
Yeah, it is. It's something we've sort of worked hard on over the last few years. When David Odie arrived, with myself 7, 8 years ago now, that sort of wanted to make sure that we have those juniors coming through, because in terms of recruiting, it is tough sometimes to recruit. If we can keep those juniors coming through and filling our list, you know, we've been pretty pleased with our juniors coming through last year. And Zach Becker, I mean, is one of those, but he's had an exceptional year this year, and he's been a junior for us and played in our, I think it was the 2022 Reserves Grand Final as well. And, you know, we've had a lot of players come through and play some really good footy this year in the league. So, yeah.
Hey, Marty, does top spot matter? I mean, you're only 0.022 away from it, and obviously win this week might see you there. But does it matter?
Well, yeah, it does. We want to. We want to get that spot. I think it's always, you know, it is we know a lot easier to make a grand final finishing top 3 or finishing top. So, yeah, we want that spot. We tried in the last quarter last week to get there. We just couldn't quite.
Nearly.
Last 3 goals, I think we missed them, but which probably would have got us top. I think those 3 goals, but you know that's I mean how close it is this year in the competition, and yeah, it's how close it is within the top 5 as well. I mean, there's a couple changes that still happen this week depending on results.
Young James Matthews being managed, I see written here. Is he going to be okay? Because, gee, I think he's vital in that forward line.
Yeah, he is. He's just a bit sore. So he had a couple of weeks off a few weeks ago with concussion, and he's played 2 games back, and he was just a bit sore. And I guess we're at the point of the year where we didn't need to risk it. But knowing if it was a final or a grand final, he probably would be playing. So, you know, we've been able to do that the last month with a couple of our players. I know Guy Page has had to manage. He had a week off to manage him. Rory Earlman's been the same. Connor McFadgen will get the same this week as well. So we've been, I guess, lucky in terms of our list and the position we've been in. We've been able to manage a few players this year and get the best out of the list and get everyone ready for finals.
Excellent stuff, Marty. You're doing a great job. Try and finish it off in the next few weeks, buddy.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well done, Marty Matner, the coach of the Sturt Footy Club, playing the Adelaide Crows at home this week. I'll be going down to do that game.
He's done a great job, Marty, hasn't he?
As soon as he got there, you could see the way they were changing already. He's a very good coach. Well played. All the best in the finals. Righty-o. Now, Normally you would hear a stinger and it'd be
nice.
Tim's and Terry's tips
nice.
and all the rest of it, but we've had to let Terry go. He's had a bad month on the
Terry's
punt,
a good friend of mine. I'm not going anywhere near this, Tez.
You're a good Carlton man. That's why you're sticking up for him. No, he'll be back next week, but he's got a good mate to fill in. Johnny Kelton. G'day, John.
G'day, boys. How are you?
He did allow me. He said, you can take the mickey if you want, Timmy. And I said I will take full advantage.
Both hands he's done it, John.
Well, I had a winner last week, Johnny. That's why I'm up and about. I think its name was Lingani or something like that.
Yeah, she was very impressive. She's been absolutely flying the last couple of months.
Yeah, which is great. So what we do, we throw to you first, John, and say, what do you got for us at Morphy Parks tomorrow? And then I sort of throw my two, there's always a winner in there somewhere.
Oh. That sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to wait to the last race tomorrow, and my best bet of the day is Xanthron. He's getting out sort of near each way odds, and I'd be pretty surprised if he missed a place at least. He's been fantastic in his last 3 or 4 runs, and I reckon he'll get the right run just behind the speed. And I also think we got the main race, the Leland McDonald Stakes. The favourite there, See You in Heaven, will be very hard to beat.
Oh, good call, mate. That's so race 9, number 12, Xanthron.
Yep.
Correct. And then we've got now I'm just trying to find it.
In race 8, See You in Heaven.
8, See You in Heaven, which is race 8, number 9. There we go. Got those two locked away.
I had those numbers written down.
Well, he hasn't got his glasses on, John, so he's going to give himself a migraine tonight. He will not be able to see anything.
I tell you what, I look like I'm squeezing something out. I tell you, there you are. Now, just looking at the races here, I've picked these two, and you can let me know whether they're okay or not. Race 3, number 6, Reservoir Dog, reasonable form.
He's been going really well. I'd say ideally he'd like it wetter, and I'm not sure he'll get a real wet track tomorrow, but he's in good form and he gets a good run in the race.
Okay, well, it was a good movie. Race 4, number 5, Core. I think it's pronounced.
Yeah, Core was super impressive last start in Victoria, obviously trained by master trainer Kieran Maher, and no doubt he'll be hard to beat also. So I wouldn't chalk you out of either of them.
All right, that's 4 winners for the day, Johnny. I can't wait to wrap those up, mate. Hey, sensational stuff.
If it's that easy, we'll all be happy.
Racing.com's John Kelton filling in for Terry McCall. Thanks very much, buddy.
All good. Cheers.
Excellent, mate. Well played. Wow.
Well,
not often you get 4 winners.
Yeah.
Not often.
Good strike rate, Timmy.
I'm going to follow this closely, and your phone's going to light up if it doesn't. Tim.
Oh, dear.
Well,
now I've done it.
The best thing is, Camper, you're back on Monday, Roey's back on Tuesday, so we get another one more dose of this over the final weekend of home and away football, which starts tonight at the MCG, Melbourne Collingwood, with Friday night footy here on 5AA. That's up next. Thanks for your company. Saturday night footy with the Crows and the Swans next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Roey and Timmy G.
How to get Dad off-road with confidence and give him a shot at the ultimate